Red River Podcast, another year-end episode. Today we're going to talk about our favorite movies of the year. We have our buddy in from fucking Arizona, Steve Andolfo in the house again.
You know how I do? I show
Yeah.
up at the end of the year and tell people my bad opinion.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. No, he don't have the sledgehammer here, but mentally just picture it. So
mentally, I'm judging everyone.
That's it. So listen, before we start off, does anybody have any honorable mentions before we get to the top 10 list?
I don't really.
Yeah, it's like I said before, I started smoking weed again this year, and I've watched a lot of movies this year, a lot of them, and because everything was coming home, I was consuming more and more and more of it. And since I started smoking weed, your movie's got to be real good for me to remember it now. And so I'm struggling at 11 here.
Okay, so you got 11, but Langan, did you have any honorable mentions?
Nah, I got a tight little list of 10 here.
Okay, good. Parker?
Dude, my 10 isn't even fucking from half of this year, so
okay, good. Yeah,
I'm pulling a fucking movie from 82 in my fifth slot, so
all right. Whatever.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And I'll take my 2019 just released here from Switzerland movie that I'll put on this list then.
There was a lot of movies that had 2020 if you look them up on IMDb,
oh, yeah,
but they didn't come out in the States till a lot of them.
Yeah,
the majority of the movies I have on here.
So I have a shit ton. So I these are my honorable mentions.
Do you like too many things?
Yeah. The Boy Behind the Door. I thought that was a very good movie, very tense movie. Halloween Kills, as much as people slammed it, it's on here. Suicide Club. Big fan. VHS 1994. The movie Old.
No.
Yeah, the movie Old.
VHS 94 was not good.
Yes, it was. The movie Old. I thought M. Night Shyamalan, whatever the fuck. I thought that was a good one. There's a movie called Vicious Fun, which I thought was a lot of fun. That was like a Shudder exclusive. I saw A Quiet Place 2 in the theaters, which I thought was a lot of fun. Nobody, which was the first movie I saw in theaters after the pandemic. Then the Slumber Party Massacre remake, way better than I thought it would ever be. I can't even comprehend. It's almost like Black Xmas, where they took the source material and then they made their own thing from it. So huge fan of that.
Which either works or fails terribly. That's
and then the two movies that we took off our list, me and Steve, but I just want to mention them because they were kind of like last year, but very late. Empty Man and Promising Young Woman, which were
both great,
phenomenal. But the Empty Man, I can't even what Candyman should have been this year. I think the Empty Man blew that away. It's kind of the same vibe, and it was just so well done compared to the mediocrity that I thought 2021's Candyman was. So
you know what I thought of that movie. One thing I can say is it has this feel of a deep lore cryptid type movie where it's all about this cursed lore, but then it sort of plays into the I Know What You Did Last Summer vibe of it, and then twists again into a Cronenbergian type way. And I think that's what turned a lot of people off The Empty Man, because it was just too much.
It was a lot. It was pretty long, but there was something just super effective about it. I thought especially the very beginning, I was this is severe shit, man. It was I was in. I was this movie is pretty long, but I'm very much in on it. So, all right, listen, let's do it. Number 10, Steve, you're our guest, man. Give me your number 10.
It is The Spine of the Night. Spine of the Night, which I believe was it's a Shudder produced, animated, rotoscope animated, heavy metal type movie. Loved it. With you've got your Patton Oswalt does a voice in it, and you got different voice actors in it, but it's just this sword and sorcery thing about this flower that holds this power that can either destroy or help, in any normal sword and sorcery type story. but the animation is fantastic. It's dark. It's that like 80s vibe to it that like it's just I think it was it's a movie that I don't think a lot of people saw. And at a number 10, it's worth seeing, and I think it's something that was overlooked.
If you didn't start smoking weed, what number would it be on your list? Number 18?
Yeah, I listen. I definitely understand that and agree with that statement.
All right. Langan, kick it off. Number 10.
My number 10 was this film, Night House. It's, I guess it's a standard horror thriller, supernatural kind of story about a teacher. She loses her husband and starts to unearth certain secrets about this guy after he has passed. But I mainly have it on there because of Rebecca Hall's performance. She's one of my favorite actresses out there since I've seen her in that Christine movie about that girl that shot herself on air.
Oh, that was
And,
that was a good
so
movie.
good.
Yeah, and she is so good. I love when a really good actor or actress gets in a horror flick, and because that never used to happen in my like growing up. It was always like whatever, and it was fine. But like when someone really good knows what they're doing in there, it turns into something pretty special. So
Well, we
that's
are
my number
living in
10.
the age of prestige horror.
Yes, I'll
We
take it.
so yeah, that's a little bit further up on my list. So I'll talk about my my input when I get to it. So Parker, give me something from 1982.
Well, no, this is from last year, so it's a little bit more relevant. So I caught this on Shudder. It's called Boys from County Hell, and I think me and Tom Bennett were the only two people that actually connected on this movie because it takes place in fucking Ireland. So you know where I'm going.
That's where he's at right now.
That's it. So it's about this road crew, you know, father and son, and they have to survive because they unearth like, you know, a vampire in Ireland. And, you know, it's what you think of it. You know, it's like a horror comedy. So it's fan of, you know, if you're a fan of Shaun of the Dead, a lot of fucking cursing and a lot of drinking, this is for you. Boys from County Hell.
Cool. Yeah. Tom Bennett is definitely up in Ireland as we speak. So shout out to him.
Shout out to the motherland, baby.
That's it, man. he's coming back with
Ireland as the motherland. Just
listen, don't piss off our Irish demo here. You got Langan and Parker. So
50%.
sorry.
Listen, just
I should hold my role here.
The good half. All right. So my number 10 is a movie that like is just, it was pretty, man, very brutal to watch because it felt very realistic. It's a movie called Violation. And I remember bringing this movie up after I watched it because there was a fucking hard boner, like an actual.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about
like
this.
an actual like this dude had like there was no
So
titties.
much boner.
There was no.
You
titties.
got it defoed. You got defoed.
Yo, but
like in Antichrist.
Beyond
you're just watching a movie and you're like, well,
Defoe's it's more than like, it's more than that. It's more than that.
It's more than that. It's like there's no titties, there's no pussy, there's no ass. There's just one hard dick. And but the actual
sometimes that's what life gives you.
Listen, that's all I know. But the actual like performances and the story, you know, this girl, like her marriage is falling apart, so she goes and visits her sister, and then her brother-in-law and her have this like weird incident that happens. It kind of like sets her off, and then from there, the movie is like it's not told in a linear fashion, so it's really cool and creative. And the actual, you know, like a lot of the bad stuff is really directed in a way that it's just very unique. It's not like here's a rape scene and this is what it is. It's done in like a very like weird and artistic way. This movie is definitely
not just the rape scene. It's an artistic rape scene.
If you watch it,
I'm glad that we're putting that line there.
If you watch it, you'll completely understand. It's just very well made. You know, I think it's actually even female directed.
It's on my list. I had not gotten around to. I did not know it was that good. I will check it out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, number 9, Steve.
Well, with Green Knight, A24's only good movie this year.
Okay.
I'm putting that out there right now. I mean, a lot of people were disappointed with it. It does not follow the actual Arthurian legend at all. but it's my new favorite Christmas movie, I guess. I thought the atmosphere was fantastic. The acting is above par for everything. I mean, it's a subtitle movie. Put your subtitles on and deal with the fact that you don't understand Old English. Like, get over it, because it's got some of the best visuals. It is a story of pride that goes afoul. It's really something that is worth watching once for everybody because of what it is and its uniqueness.
Yeah, I heard like visually it's like pretty crazy, pretty stunning and stuff like that. And it's funny
looks
that,
great.
yeah, it's funny that you mentioned A24 because yeah, for sure. Like when I saw the trailer to Lamb and people are like, oh, you want to watch Lamb? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, did you watch the trailer? I'm like, they're daring you to watch this movie. Like they're daring.
The movie succeeds. Lamb succeeds in being a movie that is about desperation and loss and all these different things in grief, but it has a horror twist to it. And the thing is it never embraces it. It doesn't embrace that horror twist. If it embraced the horror twist, 100% good movie.
Okay.
But it doesn't embrace it, and it makes it this meditation on grief when it could be one more thing.
Okay. Well, you hear it.
So,
you hear it here
that.
first. Yeah. Langan, give me your number 9.
My number 9, VHS 94.
Ah, listen, we already discussed it. We already said it's not a good movie.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll get you another one. I enjoyed it. It's fun. I like that whole the whole franchise. Obviously there's going to be some better parts than others when you're dealing with an anthology, but I like The Empty Wake a lot. I like Subject, the Indonesian one, had shades of that.
That was great.
Tetsuo Bullet Man kind of.
Yeah.
It was really freaky and a lot of gore, and I don't know. I had a good time watching it.
I did too. When I watched it, I was just like I don't know, like the sewer man, and then the funeral.
I like the funeral a lot. The funeral one was written by
Simon
Barrett.
Yeah, Simon Barrett. Yep.
Who's done a lot of good stuff.
He does all the writing for Wingard, I think, right? He does like You're Next and
You're Next, The Guest.
Yeah.
Yep, I hit him up about being on the show.
The Guest is getting some kind of big re-release, like $60 box set thing that I didn't know people cared about The Guest that much about.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, the soundtrack too.
I like it, but
Parker, give me something from 1987.
This is from 2021, but it's got a deal with the 90s. So I'm going with Kid 90, which was
that was fun.
Yeah. So you got Soleil Moon Frye running around with her over the shoulder camcorder, hours of fucking VHS tapes, which you sold me right there. And any movie that's got everything from David Arquette to Buzz Aldrin, I'm down, man. If you want to see interviews, but obviously my favorite was Dana Ashbrook of Waxworks and Return of the Living Dead 2 fame. Having him in there, I thought was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And then you got rest in peace, Jonathan Brandis, from Ladybugs and Sidekicks. Shout out to him.
Cool. Yeah, we're doing a documentary countdown tomorrow, so that's on there for me. So I'm gonna save my feelings on that. So
yeah.
I thought you were gonna say you're doing a deep dive on Ladybugs, and I was like, I want in. I want fucking in. I'll talk about that movie. Gender equality, right there. Talk about it.
So my number 9 movie is a movie called Lucky. Definitely. So Bria Grant wrote it and Natasha Kermani directed it, and it's really strange. It kind of reminds me of Mother by Darren Aronofsky, where it's just like this, like you're in like this surreal world, and it's this girl. She writes like self-help books, and every night she's attacked by the same person, and she's like trying to call the cops and all this other stuff. It's just like a really interesting take on home invasion and slashers. And it's like you're stuck in a fucking nightmare. And I think that's really the power of the movie. And there's some really, like cool themes in it as well. So we had her on the show specifically because I love this movie so much. And it's also produced by our buddy Rob G. So shout out to him. So that's it. That's my number 9. So number 8, Steven. Give me something good, man. Give me something good.
My number 8 is actually French Dispatch.
Okay.
As a huge Wes Anderson fan, not my favorite. This is essentially like, and if anybody else doesn't like this movie, it's one of those movies where I go, I get you, and I understand why.
Yeah.
Like, you have to love what he made. Magazine, the movie. Like, it's not for everyone. I do think it was beautiful. I think it's well made. I love the vignettes. I thought they were good stories. I mean, his cadre of actors like Bill Murray, and you got Jeff Goldblum and all these people in there. Like, it's such a great movie. But for me, like, the only thing that takes away from it was the fact that, like, it just felt like, yeah, this is self-indulgent, but you're Wes Anderson, so we're going to let you do it because nobody else does what you do super self-indulgently anyway.
Yeah. I know, Langan, you saw it, right?
I did.
Okay, you didn't like it.
I'm gonna speak on it later.
I speak on it later. Gotcha. Okay. I get it.
Is it later in your list? That's great. I'm psyched about that. I want to talk to somebody who enjoyed it more than because I love Wes Anderson. I love him.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Sorry.
Yeah, number 8, Langan.
My number 8 is Mandibles.
I love that movie.
Quentin Dupieux, however you pronounce his last name. I love this guy. All his films, Dupree. Deerskin made my list last year. Wrong Cops is another one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Rubber. I like guys that whenever they make something, I'm excited. The name's out. Okay, whatever this guy does, I'm there. Whatever I'm going on the trip. I'm buying the ticket and whatever you got to give me. And basically, the plot, if I explain it, it's insane. You know, these two dopey con men guys find a giant humongous fly in the trunk of their car, and they figure they're going to get rich by training it to do, like, you know, whatever they're bidding, this gigantic fly. And there's nothing logical I could say about it, but like just like Wes Anderson, you're either down with this guy's shit, or if you don't, like, okay, I'm not going to try to sell you on it because you're never going to like this. Yeah.
From a film nerd background, it's a classic French comedy farce. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what he made, but he made it with a giant fly.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just the plot.
Brilliant.
Yeah. It's like, I know you fuck with him for sure, and it's like when I heard the plot of that, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And then I saw like the trailer, and I was so Parker, give me something from Wawa.
No, fucking, let's go there, baby. Let's do it. So this was, I think, the third take on this movie, and this was definitely the best version of it. This is probably better than every fucking one of them put together, and it was called Mortal Kombat, and it came out this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it is.
Out.
Yeah. So it's based off, you know, one of the best video game series, and you know, it is what it is. It's an MMA fighter. You know, he's seeking, you know, this tournament to save the earth. And the dude who played Kano stole the fucking movie. My main, you know, like, downfall was there was not enough Scorpion. So I'm hoping that they're going to be making a sequel, either with more Scorpion or, you know, a side movie about Scorpion. But for what it was, I mean, the effects were great. The fucking choreography for the fighting was fucking great. I mean, compared to those first two pieces of shit, I mean, the second one is horrible. Mortal Kombat Annihilation is easily probably top 5 worst movies of all time. No question.
It's up on HBO right now.
It's fucking horrible.
Even with the involvement of Christopher Lambert.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Who gets a haircut halfway into the movie and you don't even fucking realize.
Such a good movie.
I remember watching that. I was pretty excited, and by 20 minutes into the movie, I was like, I don't care anymore.
I guess again, that's where going back to smoking weed helps.
Yeah.
That movie, I was like, it's not making any lists, but I'm enjoying you now, buddy.
All right, so my number 8 is a fucking batshit movie that I'm sure is definitely high up on your list. Titan. That's my number 8. I can't even
I spit
really
on you for putting it so far back.
listen.
I spit on you.
I'll tell. Wait till you hear the other 7 in front of it. You'll understand. But yeah, I can't really even like it just. I can't even
I
really.
got lots to say.
Yeah, I'll let you talk about it because it's definitely one of those movies that is really hard to explain. It's an experience. So to me, by the end of the movie, I enjoyed the ride more than the actual like what I just saw, because it was just so absurd. And there was some really good like practical effects on there and all that other shit. It was just definitely it's an experience of a movie more than like I could be like, oh well, I really love the plot. So I'll let Steve definitely kick some of that shit. But all right, so number 7, Steve.
Oh, Censor, which I think didn't get as much praise as it should have. Or did it get more praise?
No, it did. A lot of people have it on their list, and I didn't watch it, but
It's great. It gives you it takes you back to like the era of the video nasties, like the UK videos that were tape trades and stuff like that. And it's all about a person who is a censor for that kind of stuff, like the old like nasty horror, and it just starts becoming like this mentally twisted thing that is part homage to the video nasty itself, and at the same time being its own genre making defining film. Like I think it's a fantastic movie because I use fantastic as a word too much. And I think it's a great movie because it had this feeling that no other movie had this year. It felt like Barbarian Sound System, if anybody remembers that movie. Yeah. It feels a lot like that movie. So if you like that movie, give this a spin.
Yeah, it's up on Hulu, right?
Yes.
I believe. Oh yeah. So it's one of those movies that like I didn't really pay attention to, but seeing everyone's like year-end list, that movie is in everyone like any critic from like Bloody Disgusting or like any like horror site definitely put that movie up on there. So I got to check.
It's also Vinegar Syndrome's first technical like under their label release, I think.
Oh, that's pretty cool too. Yeah. Langan, number 7.
My number 7 is Mogul Mowgli. It was I don't know if you heard of it. It's a Riz Ahmed's in it, the guy that was in Sound of Metal. And this film's got
okay.
Oh wow.
It's got a lot of similarities to that in the fact that it's based. He's a musician. He's a British rapper with a Pakistani descent, and he's about to blow up. His career is about to blow up, go on tour.
Sounds like him.
He's struck with an illness of I won't get into it if somebody says, but he's struck with an illness that's hampering his plans.
Oh wait, hold on. We can all guess.
Yeah,
you would say it if somebody guessed. You'll get to guess.
Everybody take a guess. What is illness?
Cancer. I say cancer.
But he goes back to Pakistan. He gets in touch with his family, and but it's really good. His performance is outstanding again. This guy,
yeah, he's killer and everything. Yeah. And he's actually like, we have this discussion, but he's a really good rapper for sure. He's actually a really good rapper.
He does like all the scenes he does where he's rapping, like it's believable, it's buyable, you know what I mean?
Cool.
But good film, very good.
I gotta check that out. Parker, give me something.
All right, man. So this movie is actually like 3 different parts, and I believe it was a Netflix exclusive called Fear Street.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And, so it was 1994, 1978, and 1666.
Yeah.
So 94 and 78 both had fucking great soundtracks, great playlists. And it's just about like a circle of friends that, they released this like ancient spirit, evil, that goes on a series of, brutal murders, yada, yada, yada. But it was pretty fucking gory. you know, for like being from like an R.L. Stein book for like little kids. I mean, like a lot of the kills in it, actually, like the first kill in the first part of it, it takes place in like a shopping mall, and it was pretty fucking graphic, man. I gotta say, for like based off of a little kid's book. But I watched all three. The first two caught my eye. You know, obviously the best out of the three of them. The last one was pretty fucking boring. I'm not gonna lie. The 1666.
I mean, anything in 1666 is gonna be fucking.
Yeah,
pretty
like,
boring.
do I really want to watch somebody like fucking churn butter or something? Like, get the fuck out of here, you know?
Turn butter,
was that?
but with ghosts.
Yeah.
Was there a black goat in that last one?
That definitely was.
Of course there was. Oh.
I watched Black Phillip. Shout out to Black Phillip.
Listen, Black Phillip is great, and the best thing about it is the director, David Eggers, said to never ever work with a goat. It is the worst thing ever, and he will never do it again.
And he was the star of the movie, so
That was the only
so
good thing in that movie.
That's it.
And there was supposed to be way more of it, but the goat would not apparently
Oh, that's why it sucked.
Yeah.
do stuff.
But going back to Fear Street, I watched the first 15 minutes of the first movie. I was like, oh, AC/DC Portishead. I was like, this is pretty cool, like the soundtrack. And I could not get over the Scream vibes. Like, I could not get over how, like, I'm like,
100%.
I'm like, this is like, and I don't care. It's fine. Good for them, because by this point, Scream is from 1996. So obviously it's time to, you know, you could still do stuff. It's something that's influenced by it, but I just couldn't. There was something about it where I was like, I'm going to watch something else. So, but I'm glad you liked it.
Thank you.
Number 7 for me, I just saw, and I had to crowbar it into this list, Licorice Pizza, Paul Thomas Anderson. Man, what can I say about this movie? It's definitely very, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's very linear. It's like the most cohesive thing I think he's ever done compared to something like Magnolia.
Listen, I have a lot to say about Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm a big fan of Paul Thomas Anderson, so I'll talk about it too. But at the same time, like, keep going. I just want to hear more about what you think about it.
Okay, yeah.
I love the movie.
Yeah. So I love the movie too, for sure. I mean, I want to watch it a couple more times. I thought Alana Haim from the band Haim, the fact that Paul used her two sisters from the band and her actual family, I thought they did so well. I thought she really pushed the role. Cooper Hoffman, you know, Philip's son, killed it. Like,
but that shows you just how great Paul Thomas Anderson is as a director, because he notoriously likes to work with improvers and like comedians and stuff like that and put them into the backgrounds of the movies. I mean, his wife is Maya Rudolph. Like,
yeah.
So the way that you fell into that movie and the actor, like the characters became the characters, is how good of a director he is. 'Cause you haven't seen either one of those people in a movie before, but you'd watch any movie with either one of them in it right now.
Within the first scene, like the chemistry that they had when they first meet, and you don't really know what's going on, and you follow them in the dialogue. It's like I could have hung out with them the whole night.
Exactly.
That first, you know, and I wanted her to show up there the first time. You know, it's for a young boy like me back then that had crushes on many older women, you know, like I related to it. Like, you pine over certain people, you know, you're 15 and you see someone that's like, you know, 10 years older than you. But it's just,
I don't even want to get into that portion of it because of all the weirdness about that.
That was pretty weird. I'll admit,
but
when he said
the thing is like, it's not like they looked like they were that far apart. So you're fine. It's not like you got the kid who played Alfalfa in the Little Rascals hanging out with the Peg Bundy. Like,
no, but still, like, that was one of the parts, because he was like, I'm 15 and she's like, I'm 25. And that part, I'm just like, wow,
Right.
that's definitely interesting to, like, I kind of knew at that moment in time that I guess things were never going to be what I thought they were going to be because of that age.
Right. It's, you don't fundamentally understand that time period, so you don't understand how that worked. But I also think, in the same situation with the age thing throughout the movie, it doesn't make a difference. Their ages never make a difference
because
what they are doing as individuals.
But also, like, you know, realistically, obviously they don't look like those two ages. They seem like peers. But yeah, and for people, you know, that are going to watch the movie, you'll see that it's just it
has nothing to do with their stupid ages.
Exactly. It's a great coming of age story with a lot of like just great characters through the movie. Like, man, I can't say enough about it. When I watched it, I wanted to watch it again. You know, once again, the soundtrack was great. By the end of the movie, it's like you hung out with these people for like 2.5 hours, and it was just a lot of fun. So I had to throw
same way Boogie Nights feels.
Yeah,
Boogie Nights feels the same way.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, I know these dudes. These are all my friends.
These are all your friends. Yeah, for sure. But that's my number 7, Licorice Pizza. Langan. Oh no, Steve. No, Steve, yeah. Number 6.
I go number 6.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with Dune, man. Have you guys see this movie? It's called Dune.
I gotta watch that.
Do you know anything about this? Apparently, people love it. I don't really know.
It's got a big cult following, but I never was in that cult.
Yeah,
I was never in that cult either. I was like, it's not for me. That's too much sci-fi. Give me lasers. give me laser swords and a guy that and a guy who sounds like James Earl Jones, and I'm good. I don't need Star Trek, and you're thinking about using photon cannons or not, even though you have them, so use them. I don't care about any of that stuff, and I never cared about Dune. And I'm a huge David Lynch fan, and I don't care about Dune. I think Dune is terrible. I think the movie is terrible. Jodorowsky's Dune,
but then you got high.
Dune, it's great. Yeah, and then I started smoking weed. No, but I'm a huge Denis Villeneuve fan.
Yeah.
I think
that guy's the man.
That guy is yet to hit a strike. When you go, and obviously, if you listen to anything I've said before this, obviously I'm a big atmosphere guy. I'm a big mise en scène guy. Like I need everything to look beautiful for me to love it. And I never cared about Dune, and I care about Dune now.
Yeah.
And that's why that movie's on the list. Because if you can make me care about something that I've actively not cared about for 41 years, you made a good movie. I can't wait to keep watching it, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
That's it. You sold all three of us. Shout out to Afro Man too for the song. And then I got Langan, number 6.
My 6, you mentioned it before, Sam. Nobody, with Bob Odenkirk. I am such a Bob Odenkirk fanboy since Mr. Show and Ben Stiller's show and all that stuff. He's always been my favorite one of that crew. And the second act that he got with Breaking Bad, I loved that. And now this is like a total other left turn for his career to be an action star, something I'd never see. But he pulls it off, and he's great. And the Riz is in it. Who else is in it?
Christopher Lloyd.
Yes, Christopher Lloyd. That's what I was trying to think of. But it's a great story.
He's awesome in that movie. The movie's great. It's great. It's a great movie.
He's got this like Bronson-esque character, like this mechanic, like the mechanic or something that he's, if you haven't seen it, I'm trying not to like say anything if somebody hasn't seen it or whatever, but it's to see Bob Odenkirk pull off an action flick made me smile from ear to ear.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we all know what it is. It's Taken, but Bob Odenkirk's Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
And it works because Bob Odenkirk is lovable, but also he's turned himself into this dramatic actor that's fantastic. Bob Odenkirk is great.
Yep.
Yeah. That movie is basically just a revenge movie. Like everyone knows what it is. It's just, you get from point A to point B. that bus scene was like
So good.
that was the climax to me. I think that was
So
like the
good.
height of the movie. But okay, cool. Parker, number 6.
Number 6, I went with this movie called The Hunt. That stars Betty.
Oh, yeah.
Betty Gilpin from Glow fame, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, and Damon Lindelof from Lost actually did this movie. He was a writer on Lost. He also was a producer on Watchmen, which I loved. But it's one of those, 12 people that wake up, they have no clue where the fuck they are, and then just like this game ensues. It's survival of the fittest. But there was definitely like a little hint of the movie The Game in there, because like the town's in on it. You don't know who to trust. There's a lot of like secrets going on, but pretty straightforward movie. It was pretty gory, pretty graphic, which was cool. And I think I mentioned this movie on a previous episode, but I really dug it. The Hunt.
Yeah, it's good. I like the first like batch of celebrities that get murdered, and
fucking Ike Barinholtz, fucking Mad TV fame.
Yeah.
I'm a big Lindelof fan and Lost fan.
Yeah.
And I still haven't stopped having the argument the finale is good, and everybody can just not at me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to John Locke.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like let's just understand this. It was good. So stop being stupid.
All right, so number 6, here's a movie. I feel like maybe me and Steve had this conversation. I don't remember, but the movie Last Night in Soho. I loved it. The worst part of the movie was the actual story. But to me, I feel like Edgar Wright just made he made movie magic, like the universe he created, the soundtrack, the characters, the costume, like everything about the movie was fantastic. Obviously, the story was the weakest part, but even by the end, like I didn't mind, because I like that twist and I like that. It's just a guy like a Guillermo del Toro, where they make these movies that look like movies, like what a movie could be. It's just like an amazing universe. Anya Taylor-Joy is fucking great. Mackenzie,
play the shark from Jaws.
Yeah,
like she's amazing in everything.
Yeah.
She's amazing in everything. That's the Kevin Smith joke about Ben Affleck. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I'm stealing that Kevin Smith joke. Like she's fantastic in everything. You put that girl. Same with Jodie Comer, the girl that is in Killing Eve. Put them in any movie and they're great because they're just great.
Really great. Did you watch Thoroughbreds with her?
Yes.
I thought that was a great underrated movie. Yeah. But so that's my number 6. It would have made my number 5, but it's just like I thought, kind of like I said, the story was the only part where I was just like, oh, this is definitely not going to be top 5, but it's just visually, man, it was just a fun universe that he created.
That's a good summary of that.
Yeah, I'm a big, I'm going to stop saying I'm a big Somebody fan, because I'm saying that too much.
We get it. You're big.
I'm a big everything. That's the first part.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I love him. I love him since Space. I love his stylistic approach to everything. And I feel like there wasn't enough of him in this film.
Yeah.
I feel like this was him trying to do an homage to something that I personally don't really know a lot about, which is British cinema. I'm not a fan. I don't know. I'm not well versed in 60s, 70s British cinema.
Yeah. No, you're right.
But this is what that is a love letter to that. So to me, I missed his stylization in the movie. I missed his mark.
Gotcha. That
I feel is still there, but it's not there for me.
Yeah. Shout out to George Lazenby on this one. So a deep cut right there. Come on.
Love a good George Lazenby.
Steve, number 5.
Listen, okay. My number 5.
Top 5, man. It's got to be good. Otherwise, I'm hanging up.
It is. It's one of the best movies I saw this year. It is number 5. And it is Spider-Man. It is the new Spider-Man. Too Many Homes.
Can't go home or something?
Spider-Man, no boy. No, honestly, like And this is completely biased. But I think it was a well-made film either way. But as a person who loves Spider-Man, who's grown up loving Spider-Man, is a Spider-Man mark, has Spider-Man tattooed on his elbow, is a very big Spider-Man fan. The movie is a love letter to Spider-Man fans. Like,
I have
you
not.
can't-
Yeah, I've not heard like one person say anything negative about this movie. Like not one
Yeah.
per. Like it's not my world. It's not my universe. I don't really know much about it. But it's just
understood.
like
Yeah.
no one has shit on this movie.
It's heartfelt. It's exactly what the character is in the comics, and it's for me. And then you get, without spoiling it, even though everybody knows the spoilers for it, those moments were actually touching and not something that felt forced or like an ad for Pepsi. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So the sincerity of a movie that's that big is what the character Spider-Man is, if you get my drift. So that's why it makes my top 5. Also, again, Spider-Man fan, like, fuck you. All right,
That's it.
it's number
That's it.
5. I didn't put it at number 1,
Unapologetic, right
so
there.
fuck off.
Langan, number 5.
My number 5, I'll make it brief because I know Sam's going to wax poetic later on it. Psycho Gorman.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a love letter to the horror from the films we grew up with. It's super fun. It's funny. It's irreverent. It's gory. It's completely bizarre and unique.
Absolutely.
And just a lot of fun. We had Steve on the show and everything that guy makes. He's another one I'm interested in.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I'll talk about that for sure. Parker, number 5.
All right, man. We're going back to fucking 1982 here. So everyone's saying, why is this in here? Because I just watched it. I just watched it this year. So
I
fuck
love
off.
it. I don't care.
That counts. That counts.
So fuck off. So I watch this. So I watch this on Shudder. And besides horror, like my second favorite genre is like that city sleaze, that class of 1984
Vigilante.
there it is right there. Fucking starring Robert
Look.
Forrester, baby.
Streets of sleaze.
Yeah,
That's
so-
some good stuff.
So let's talk. So this guy's his wife, his kid gets murdered. He's a factory worker. All of a sudden, he bumps into big man Fred Williamson. Himself, black exploitation boy.
What movie is this? Wait, did you say it and I missed it?
Vigilante.
Vigilante, it's
Oh,
called.
that's the name of the
Yeah, oh
movie?
yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, so
100% already.
you got Joe Spinelli from Maniac fame, playing a lawyer. The thing that I hated about that, don't get me wrong, he was great in it, but he was only in it for about 5 minutes, and I fucking loved Joe Spinelli. I wish he was in it for a lot more. And then you had that guy Frank Pesci, which every time I see this guy, all that I can think about is the opening scene of Beverly Hills Cop with the fucking cigarette truck that they hijacked. And he's like, well, why did you just fucking smoke on a fucking cigarette? Come on, tell me something. And then fuing Axel Foley jumps in there. But anyway, we're off subject. Anyway, so Vigilante,
I don't know. I would
1982.
listen to you explain the beginning of any Beverly Hills Cop movie. I honestly would sit here and listen to it and be completely fine with that.
I can't believe we got a Frank Pesci mention, but
Yeah, dude.
and directed by William Lustig.
There you go. That's
Yeah.
why it's good.
Very cool. Yeah. I just recently watched that for the first time as well.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 5, Langan mentioned. This movie blew my fucking wig, man. The Night House was very, very good. That was a very fucking good movie.
Was
You
it though?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it was no Spider-Man. I give you which is
Okay,
Spider.
I have one thing wrong with it. So go on, and I'll
Go-
tell you my one thing.
Okay.
And then you
So,
can
yeah, just this lady's husband commits suicide, and then from there she's trying to figure out, like this secret life that he had, and it's just, man, it leaves a lot for interpretation, and what I took out of it, I really like. It's my interpretation is the way I want to remember it, and it's just it's not for everyone, like
But what is your interpretation? We can get into that. Like, What is your interpretation?
I don't want to get.
Is that spoilery?
Oh, in
Yeah.
case somebody see, yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, we want to suggest these things. I'll tell you off air.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, so very good stuff. Definitely not for everyone. It's one of those movies that if you told me you didn't like it or found it boring, like I completely get it. But if it connects with you, I think it's a home run. So that's my number 5. But Steve, what didn't you like about it?
It introduces an idea and plot point that is really cool. Like, really having to do with the construction of the house.
Okay. Yeah. I get it.
And then they barely follow up with it. And I hate that. Because that was the most interesting thing the movie had going for it.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you know that interesting thing we talked about? Don't worry about it. She's got some feelings.
I just feel like, I'm going to basically say this. I feel like it was the only way that she could come to grips with what she knows probably happened. And I feel like, yeah, I don't want to get into it.
You know what
He was very good,
right.
though. Yeah.
It was good. It was a good film. But it's another one of those movies that toys with the fact that there's supernatural elements and doesn't take that extra step. Okay. And if it took that extra step, I would have been in for it the whole way.
Yeah. I get it. So damn, number 4, Steve.
Pig.
Go ahead, talk about it. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but people love this one.
All right. This guys are going to learn a lot about me, I guess, today, everybody. This is the year that I realized that I like Nicolas Cage as an actor, non-ironically. I think he is the best part of every movie he is in. I think he is competently doing an amazing job of what he is setting out to do, despite what directors might tell him. But I do find myself, I watched a lot of Nick Cage movies this year, and I think there's an argument for the fact that, yes, okay, he's ironically liked by people. I get that. But I look at the movies that came out recently. Hey, how's Mandy? You like that movie, right? He was great in that.
I love that. I loved Color. I loved Willy's Wonderland. Exactly. It was great, yeah.
And even things where he's over the top, like Vampire's Kiss, he's over the top because it's such a ridiculous idea. But yeah, this was the year I figured out that I actually like Nicolas Cage as an actor, non-ironically, which again may be due to something else. But, Pig, I thought was a great like it was almost a revenge movie, but not like, but like instead of revenge, it was revenge, but closure. The closure was revenge on everything that happened. I think it was a movie that's needed after the death of Anthony Bourdain. I think that this movie was like an Anthony Bourdain type who has gone off the grid, obviously, and then has come back, and you see the seedy underbelly of the dining industry that I think is a really interesting topic to bring up to the genre of horror and thriller. Is this that I mean, it's ultimately a drama. It is a genre film, but it's ultimately a drama. But I think it gives light to it. I think it's a fantastic movie. I lost my train of thought. I love it though.
I gotta check it out. I know it's up on Hulu as well as the other movie, Willy's Wonderland, which didn't make my top 10, but that's a really fun movie.
If you ever want to watch Nicolas Cage seductively play pinball and pound energy drinks,
Yeah.
and not say a goddamn thing, that is the best movie you could ever watch.
He did not say a goddamn thing. You're right.
No.
The only movie
He didn't.
I didn't watch this year that he was in, which was Prisoner in a Ghostland. I didn't get a chance to watch that. I
It was-
tried.
Yeah, me neither.
The people who like him ironically love that movie. Me, it wasn't that great of a movie,
Okay.
but he was great in it. I'll tell
Okay,
you that.
good. I couldn't get past the first like 20 minutes. So.
No, that movie was dumb.
Langan, number 4.
My number 4 is a little independent film called Shiva Baby.
Oh,
Starring
yeah.
Rachel Sennott, who was fantastic in this film. It basically takes place over the course of an afternoon at a Shiva, Jewish, wake or whatever. And she, basically in a nutshell, she's a sugar baby. She finds herself in a situation where she's around family at this wake, runs into some people she shouldn't. There's a lot of humor, a lot of well-written characters, a lot of really cringe-worthy moments, but just really well-written and like minimalist, not a lot goes on, not one setting basically, but Rachel Sennott is fantastic in it. I wouldn't be surprised she gets nominated for something.
Cool.
Yeah,
I've seen that on a bunch of people's lists. I have not seen it yet.
it's good. I had no expectations going into it. I kind of just hit it and I was like, wow, this is like really excellent. I'm glad I pressed play.
Sugar
I
baby.
want to be that next year. You know how I'm a notorious grump and hate everything? I next year want to go into things with no expectation.
I thought you meant sugar baby.
No.
I was like, I don't know.
I'd also like to be that as well. If anybody would like to be my sugar daddy, I will accept. It's fine.
But
Yeah, I'm a notorious grump. I'm trying to come at everything with I got no expectations for this.
so Parker, number 4.
All right, so number 4. So this is definitely the only movie on my list that actually did decent at the Academy Awards, and it actually tanked because it came out right when COVID hit. So Judas and the Black Messiah. So
That's great.
great movie. I think the budget was something like 26 million, and it only did like 7 million just because the lockdown and everything. But two guys from Get Out, which is a movie that I think all 4 of us are fans of. And the backstory is just about this guy that takes a plea deal, to get involved with the Black Panther and pretty much expose him. J. Edgar Hoover, Martin Sheen plays him. And I just thought the fucking acting was great. The story was great. This was definitely the longest movie also on my list. And with my AD fucking HD, took a while to get through, but it locked me in fucking from the get-go.
Cool, man. Yeah, that's a good one. Glad. To
Yeah,
see it on
that
the
movie is actually really, really good. I think Netflix bought the distribution rights, so that's why it didn't have that great of an actual like per screen dollar percentage, because it did debut on Netflix.
Yeah.
debuted on HBO actually.
Oh wait, no, that's the HBO one.
Yeah,
I'm
HBO.
thinking of another movie, which makes me racist.
Yeah, there you go. Only half racist.
That's right.
but my number 4 is a movie. Speaking of Netflix, it premiered on Netflix, and speaking of one setting, it's the movie Oxygen. Man, did I fucking love this movie. This girl wakes up in this like I guess it's like some sort of like tank, and she's trying to figure out what she's doing there, how the fuck to get out, and what's going on. And it's really, really, really good. When I watched this movie, I actually ended up watching it twice. I ended up watching it with my girlfriend when after I watched it, because I loved it that much. Couldn't believe it. Just very, very good, very satisfying ending. Like an hour and 40-minute episode of Black Mirror for sure. So Oxygen up on Netflix right now.
It's fantastic. It didn't make my list, but it would have been my stoned list.
Nah.
All right, man. Top 3, man. Yo, don't let me down, Steve. What do you got?
Number 3, Licorice Pizza, director Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Cooper Hoffman and Elaine Hayne. What a fantastic little movie that is, isn't it?
Is it true this movie is about white privilege?
No, not at all.
I'm not seeing
I mean,
it.
I think art is interpreted by whoever they want to interpret it by, and however people want to interpret it is fine. But no, I think this is another slam dunk for Paul Thomas Anderson, where he's giving you a character piece on these two people that you couldn't want to spend more time with. Like you need them in your life after the movie is over. You want to know what happens next.
I needed Alana in my life. Like I was like, I'm like, I need to listen to Haim now. Like I was just all in. I'm like,
it almost did that for me, but I was like, no, I don't like that. I looked at them on my iTunes today and I was like, no. But yeah, for being two people that, you know, not actors, for him to get that kind of performance out of them, the story itself, I'm a romantic at heart. I know I'm a curmudgeon, mean, cranky guy, but my favorite movies are movies that embrace just the purity of love and what that is and how it shapes over time and what it means to two different people. And if there's one person who gets it right, this is the second one out of the park from Paul Thomas Anderson. I think Punch Drunk Love is also.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a great fucking movie.
It's highly underrated, but it's a movie about being able to love someone, flaws and all, and it's beautiful and perfect. And I think this movie is also the same. I think it's something that not only should you watch, but I dare you to be angry at me after you watched it.
It's really it's really such a it's like a fun journey for these two. These two are the two that you're watching, and the characters that they meet when they stray from each other and then they come back. There's a lot of running. I like that. You know, and it's just like it's almost like Big Fish in a way, because it's like the characters are so like unbelievable in certain ways, and like the situations that they get in, but it's just it's a fun movie, man. I love it.
I found it reminding me more of now my train of thought's gone, but it's a movie that just reminded me. It's like nostalgia of the movie. You might as well just put on there, you know what I mean? Because of what it presents to you and how it presents it to you. And I think it's a great movie because of that.
Cool. Yeah. Let's go watch it. Langan, give me number 3.
My number 3 is Boss Level.
Cool. That's my number 3.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You hit me to see this movie. You recommended it, so I caught it, and just great action movie. It's got a twist. I mean, not a twist. It's the Groundhog's Day basically action.
It's a time loop.
Yeah.
Which we've seen.
We love a time loop.
Which isn't entirely new, but the way they execute it, that's what it's all about, and it's a lot of fun. The guy, the actor, I had never heard of that guy before.
Never heard of Frank Grillo ever. Yeah.
Fantastic. When I hear Grillo,
oh really? You guys don't know Frank Grillo?
No.
I know the Grillo from the Howard Stern show that used to make him a baked potato. That's the first thing I think of. But it's great. It's great villains. It works like a video game almost, and that's like kind of the Boss Level thing. He encounters these battles with these great enemies, and so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, every time he dies, he just goes back to the beginning, or like back to. It's just really like I couldn't believe it. We watched it. It's up on Hulu, and I was like, within the first 10 minutes, I was like, this is fucking really cool. Like, it's a lot of fun, and just like. It's an action movie, but it was beyond that. Like it was a total fucking like, for sure, like a video game. Obviously,
it moves. There's never like a dull moment. The time goes by.
It's one of those movies that helps me explain to people why I like genre movies, because it's taking a very simple concept that we have all watched tons of movies about, but it's tweaking it a little bit.
Yeah,
and.
That's all you
got. Every good genre movie, that's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
yeah, yeah.
just tweaked a little bit, and you've got a really great movie coming at
Yeah,
you.
for sure. Boss level. So that's our number 3. Parker, give me a number 3.
So number 3, keeping in the holiday spirit, I went with 8-Bit Christmas.
Oh, that was fun.
So this is our boy NPH, fucking Neil Patrick Harris, running around telling a story how when he was a little kid, how he gets his Nintendo system and everything that he had to go
NPH.
through, and it just reminded me like, holy shit, like I remember the fucking first year that I got mine, and you had to set up this fucking weird fucking Rob robot to lift up the fucking thing and then drop it for the fucking construction guys. But Steve Zahn, I thought as a dad was cracking me up. He was very good in that. And
He's
then
good. Yeah.
David Cross as the dealer, selling like, knockoff Cabbage Patch Kids and like, fake Teddy Ruxpins. Like I was sold like watching that shit. It was just a good fucking holiday movie. So that's why it was my number 3.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. But cool. So number 2, Steve.
Really, it's not you. Oh, it's me. All right, number 2.
I'm
Yeah,
boss level.
Oh, it was the same. I'm sorry. Took a nap. I'm just kidding. Totally just kidding. Number 2 for me is a movie that is going to be on nobody's list, and it is Annette, the beautiful, amazing Annette, directed by Leo Cara, who is one of those directors that, listen, he makes a movie, I'm gonna see it no matter what, and I'm gonna try to be the first person there for it. It came out as an Amazon release. It's an opera of sorts. Starring Adam Driver and Maureen Cotillard. And it's about just love and jealousy and exploitation. And there's a baby that's a puppet, and the puppet baby sings songs, and it's weird. And all of the music is done by that band Sparks, that had that documentary about them last year. And it's really only something that, like, listen, I'm not going to hand this off to people and be like, you're going to love it. But oh my God, is it deserving of every award this year?
It's a musical, right?
Yes. Yeah.
See, that's why I can't do it.
I hate musicals,
I
dude.
can't.
I hate them. I hate
And John
musicals.
Waters had this at his number 1 movie of the year, and I'm
Yes, he
always
did.
all about what John Waters says. But as soon as I saw a musical, I was like, "Fuck, I can't listen to that shit."
Watch it. Trust me.
That's what happened.
Watch
Like
it.
when I was trying to watch Anna and the Apocalypse, I was like, "Oh, this seems pretty
Yeah.
cool." And then I was like, once they
Like,
started, singing.
nope.
But I will say, Poultry Guys is pretty good.
Yo,
Yeah.
straight up.
But okay, and that's Steve number 2, Langan number 2.
My number 2, I think, might be your number 2 also. Bloody Hell.
No,
Sam?
no,
No?
I got it
Okay.
reversed.
That's just another one you recommended me. I had no expectations going in. A genre jumping thriller horror that takes some insane twists in it by the end that completely unexpected. Great. I can't say what it is, but
I'll
great
talk about it.
Spoiler. Great performances by that Ben O'Toole guy and Meg Fraser, I believe her name is. She was great. That was her first film that played the love interest. Just a batshit crazy fun movie. Again, flies by, moves.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's my number 2.
Cool. Parker number 2.
Oh man, so my number 2 is actually Boss Level also that you guys had
Wow.
mentioned. So going back to the music episode that we taped yesterday about that, about one of the albums that I listened to, just saying like it looked like a cool cover. I hope that the album is good. That's kind of what I did the same thing with Boss Level. Like I first saw this, poster, and I saw that Mel Gibson was in it and a couple other known actors, and I was like, I hope this movie's fucking good. And it was. It took you on a ride. It's almost like Groundhog's Day, Happy Death Day.
Yeah. Yep.
Will Sasso, shout out Mad TV once again. I think this is the first episode of Mad TV.
Is that wait? I'm sorry, I haven't listened to every episode of the show, but is there an ongoing hashtag shout out Mad TV? Because if not, couldn't you guys really start that?
I think this is the most Mad TV shout outs of all time. Just fucking
shout out Mad TV.
two back to back.
Nobody's shouting them out. Right here. Shout out Mad TV, Will Sasso, What up?
Hashtag Will Sasso.
Come through.
Anything else on it, Parker?
Fucking Ken Jeong, man. I mean,
Yeah.
he was great in it. Fucking Naomi Watts. It was just,
Yeah.
it was just a fun ride, just a good movie.
Hell yeah, that movie was fucking fantastic. Like I said, up on Hulu for anyone who wants to watch it. My number 2 is a movie directed by Steve Kostansky, which we had on the show fucking twice. That motherfucker, man, listen, anything he does, I'm gonna fucking watch. I don't give a fuck. Psycho Goreman. This movie had no business being this good. And it's the most accessible movie this guy ever made because like my girlfriend's like nephews love this movie. It had such a great crossover. It was like the biggest audience that this fucking guy gets with this fucking guy, from like every quote, the Hunky Boys quote to like Frig Off, like the 2 musical montages in the movie. Like it's just everything he wanted to do, which was like, do an homage to like 90s kids TV shows and fucking like things like the Monster Squad. Also, he said another influence was Rawhead Rex, which I thought was hilarious.
Nice.
I was like,
I mean, this is what's great about genre cinema is somebody like Steve Stancy can come along and he can take the genre cinema and be like, no, I'm gonna make it for all the people who remember the stuff that I remember and who are hip to the same kind of stuff that I am. And you get a movie like Psycho Goreman, which is super accessible, but it's also super niche.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like you watch the characters that he created, like Alistair, the brain,
Cool.
The council, 2-man, like the universe this motherfucker create. I just can't say enough about it. It's fucking amazing. I love that he made this. I love that he got so many props from it. There's a lot of cool behind the scenes stuff on YouTube on how he created a lot of this stuff. Also, we did a screening of this at Rob Link's house, and a lot of people that watch it for the first time. It was great to see everyone really enjoy it. Like my girlfriend was like, I can't believe how good this movie is. And I messaged Steve on Messenger and I was like, yo, we're all watching it here. And he sent me like pictures of the stuff that he has in his basement. Like super cool dude, man. He gets a kick out of everyone enjoying this movie. So that's my number 2, which brings us to number one movie of 2021 with our soon to be podcast star. Once he starts his show, it's about time up in Arizona. It's going to be about weed. It's going to be about.
It's definitely not going to be about weed whatsoever. In fact, I try to not mention it as much as I have this episode. So if everybody could just be cool about it,
it'd be cool.
That's good. But the other thing is it's legal here in Arizona. So I go to legal places. 2 things. 1, the legal places in Arizona still make you go to the ATM. So no matter what, in a drug deal, you still got to go to that ATM, even if it's legal. And that's weird. Also, it being legal in Arizona means that it pays for the school. So every time I get something, I say, hey, this is for the children.
Yeah. Buck. Listen, I would rather be in a room with fucking 10 people smoking weed than 1 drunk person. That's all I'm gonna say. Flat out. Unless
Understood.
that's it. Unless that 1 drunk person is a girl, of course.
Nice.
I don't even want to clarify that. I'm just gonna we're gonna go.
Then again,
number 1 movie.
Then again, maybe not.
is motherfucking Titane, the best movie that I have seen in years. Titane, a movie that I saw, let's say, 5 months ago, and I still think about it daily. Titane, by the lady who did Raw, Julia. I don't want to mess up her very French last name, Ducournau.
Depardieu.
But like Titane, I wasn't. You experience Titane.
Yeah, you
don't watch Titane. Yeah. Titane watches you. Titane is a Videodrome. Titane.
Yeah, you're right.
Is a movie that begs to be seen because you can't fathom Titane. The thing about Titan is it's not only a movie that deals with grief. You've got loss, you've got a lady fucking a car, you've got a human skin truck baby, you've got oil everywhere, you've got it's a meditation on grief, on loss, on acceptance, on gender, on sexuality. So many themes in one movie that can be reduced to one sentence where it's Titan is the movie where a woman fucks a car.
Yeah, that's it. That's one hell of a sentence. That's one, and it's everything he said is true. It's definitely, like you said, it's more of an experience. Like you have to just, I'm like watching the, my friend Chris, shout out to Chris Longito, texted me today, and he's like, 20 minutes into Titan right now. What the fuck? That's what he wrote.
I believe when I was done, I shout out to Anthony Greco, also hashtag Will Sasso. What's up, man? But after I watched Titan, I talked to Anthony and I mentioned him with, wow, so that was French. But it needs to be seen. I've never had a movie that has grabbed me as much as Titan did. And I don't know if it's bad or good. I just know that because it did that, it's the number one movie of the year.
That's it. Buck.
That's it.
That brings us to Langan. Give me your number one movie of the year.
The French Dispatch.
Oh, wow.
I had to be silent before. If I rank all of Wes Anderson's movies, this isn't the highest one up, but I've loved every single one of Wes Anderson's movies. I'm that guy. I'm a fanboy.
100%.
But I was pissed that I had such a short theatrical run here or whatever. And then when I wanted to go see it, I couldn't see it. So I just bought it on iTunes and watched it the other night. And, obviously stylistically beautiful. You're hard pressed to find a director, say what you want about him, that puts more detail into like every minutia of every frame of his shots and the color scheme and everything. Now, the complaint I hear from people that don't like him is that some of the characters are a little soulless or whatever, this and that. But I don't know. I relate to those people. I get it. Margot Tenenbaum and stuff, totally right there, like the characters he writes. So it works for me, but it doesn't work for everybody. I get it. The Del Toro, it's basically like a Wes Anderson anthology story, basically, with the magazine wraparound. The Del Toro's, Benicio Del Toro story in the prison was my favorite. That was the best one. But it's a beautiful film, and it scratched my Wes Anderson itch. You know what I'm saying? So I knew the second I saw it, I was like, okay, this is a good one. I knew
it's going on the list. It's Wes Anderson. It's great. It's going on the list. You don't have a choice about that.
No.
Parker, what movie from 1982 is number one?
Fucking E.T. Part 2. Fucking Going Home. No.
Invasion USA.
Yeah. Fucking
Exterminator 4 again.
Yeah. Exterminator fucking 3. Fucking Back from the Dead. No. So this movie, sometimes you just gotta watch a fucking movie that just, really is just fucking stupid. I don't think it even maybe it had a script. I don't know, but I sat down. You could call me fucking racist because I fucking knew none of these people, but the movie was called Bad Trip. And I watched this. Yeah, it was fucking hysterical. So I put this.
I don't think I know what movie this is at all.
Yeah. So
Eric Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that.
Yeah. Very like Bad Grandpa-ish. Like some of it was scripted, a lot of it was hidden cameras, but the female lead, Tiffany
Haddish,
was amazing in this. Probably better than both of the male actors in this. But I laughed from fucking beginning to end. It was an easy watch. Very, didn't have.
It would have been on my other list.
Yeah, didn't really have to concentrate, because it was a bunch of like fucking stupid shit. But I had a fucking good time watching this.
I like that you preface it by saying that you might be racist.
I might be because I didn't know these guys.
These people are.
I didn't know these dudes.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, this was fun. I watched it. I definitely nowhere near my favorite movie, but I did laugh a lot. And I love Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
I think she's fantastic in The Last OG specifically. That's where I really love her from. But yeah, it was fun. So all right, listen, we're gonna wrap it up. My number one is Langan's number two, Bloody Hell. When I first watched this movie, I thought to myself, okay, maybe it was like January, February, and I knew right away. I'm like, this is the bar that we're setting here, because this movie, like this dude, in the very beginning, he like prevents like or he like he's in a bank and somebody's robbing the bank and he tries to prevent the bank robbery, but he ends up like killing someone. And instead of like being, you know, like hailed as like a hero, they kind of like flipped it on him and they said that it was just like his fault. And so he goes, he's like, I'm leaving this fucking country for a little bit to go on vacation, and then very bad things happen to him. And the movie is 0 to 60, and it's never boring. It's
Funny.
yeah,
They're
it's really funny. The characters are great. It's like an action movie that turns into a horror movie.
I was excited to read too, and I hope it's true. It's the first part of a planned trilogy
Okay,
by this guy. I
good.
really hope that's true.
Yeah. It's, I mean, listen, it's my number one movie of the year, and it's one of those movies that I feel like a lot of people did not see, which is kind of a bummer.
No, I hadn't heard it until you
yeah.
recommended it. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking fantastic.
Yeah. I'm glad you dug it. So cool. Hey, listen, this is it, man. So 2021. Thanks for hanging out with us, Steve. You know,
Listen, I'll do it all the time. You want me to come in here, hang out, talk about Will Sasso, Orlando Jones, other people from the cast of Mad
Artie
TV,
Lang.
Key and Peele, Artie Lang.
Shout out to the
We're
pig
gonna get
nose.
them out. Big shouts, Mad TV. Hashtag bring it back.
yeah. And anytime,
Hashtag I've never watched it, but whatever.
anytime you want
Hashtag
to,
that guy that makes the Frank Caliendo.
Yo,
Hashtag-
fucking John Madden, rest in peace, baby.
anytime you
Oh.
want to come in and, you know, talk utter nonsense, smoke some weed, you know, because it's legal. You know, you're welcome to come hang out.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll be around this year. I actually have a couple things that I'm working on. So there's going to be a website and there's going to be a podcast coming.
Cool.
So I will be in contact with everybody and hopefully, oh, my dog just showed up, but hopefully we will be able to get podcasts in people's ears because yes, finally I'm biting the bullet. And I'm not even going to share my opinions on it. It's something completely different.
Completely different. Okay. I love it. That's it. So cool. We'll look forward
Thank
to
you
that.
guys for having me.
Yeah.
No doubt, man.
So we will see you guys. I'm going to sign off until we come back in like 10 minutes. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Later.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Later.
Bye.